Today we're talking about how you can know if you're a Sigma INFJ. So this is something that has been going around in our community for a while now. I remember I did a video, it was more than 3 years ago, on being an INFJ Alpha, or is INFJ the true Alpha of the MBTI? That's how it all started. And my point at this moment was something completely different. It was about looking into Animal Kingdom and how actually Alpha is defined there. It's about being in a wolf pack and that the Alpha is not actually the strongest one physically. Alpha is actually the one with the vision, who says this is where we're gonna go, and then the beta are coming in and making it happen. From that perspective, we INFJs are actually alphas, right? I mean, we're visionaries. We're not the ones who are the fastest or strongest when it comes to execution. We're the one with the vision. And then this whole new concept came up, which was, well, of course, we INFJs aren't alpha, we're Sigma, because Sigma is the lone wolf. That's way more who we are. And the point is this: we have to recognize that these are made up things. If you look at how alpha or beta or sigma, male, females are defined in the animal world, that's one thing. That has absolutely nothing to do with how we define it in society, as in, okay, we use that word for it. Right now, we use alpha as the leader, the one that is popular, that everybody listens to. Beta, on the other hand, is the one who always follows. And then sigma is the lone wolf. If you think about it from those concepts, nobody would really want to be the beta. It's not what in society terms is considered to be something positive. Alpha sounds good, Sigma sounds good, but is that really something that is clearly defined? And now we get to like this new concept, which is you can be a Sigma INFJ, but you don't have to be. It's not like every single INFJ is a Sigma INFJ. We have to become aware. These are boxes. Boxes are incredibly helpful when it's about finding some kind of paradigm that we can find ourselves in. For so many of us, once we found out that we are INFJs, it was like a blessing, because for the first time we had a context. We had all of these thoughts, we had all of these feelings, and understanding MBTI and what INFJ is all about gave us a context that allowed us to move forward. And that's all this is. If you're looking at INFJ, it's an archetype. It's not like every single one of us is the same way. And similarly, if you say, am I a Sigma INFJ or am I not? Or are we all Sigmas or are we all alphas? It's all a question of how do you define that? From my perspective, if you think about it in the terms of how it originally was defined, which is how it's defined in nature and in the animal world, we're actually rather the alphas. We are the ones who have a vision. We are very often close to people and help them find out about themselves and help them to get up. But in the end, we have a vision of who they could be. And we try to help them find that vision, because in our mind, that's the best thing for them. Same thing goes with other people in your life and also with ourselves. This vision thing is who we are. INFJ, that means the first function is NI. It's a visionary thing. So again, this is something that is all about how it's been originally defined. It has absolutely nothing to do with the fact of how we use it in society. From that perspective, I actually believe we're all Sigmas. All of us. It's not like you're an INFJ Sigma or not. Remember, it is an archetype. It's not that every single INFJ is the same way. But very often we do have similar struggles, similar things that we have strengths in. There is something that we all have in common, but it still allows enough deviation. So if we look at it from a perspective of INFJ as an archetype, then also the Sigma part of it is everything that INFJ archetype is about. Because if you look at it from a perspective of how it's defined in our society, Sigma is the person who is out of the box. Are we as INFJs out of the box? Is the INFJ archetype out of the box? 100%. We either look in and understand that's what's happening within the box, other people feel very comfortable within that box, and we either try to sort of be part of it because we don't know if there's another way out, or altogether together, we decide, okay, that's not for me. I'm outside the box anyway. I do my own thing. I have my own understanding and I use that in my life. In both cases, it's a Sigma thing. The Sigma is about saying that you're not looking for people to follow you. You're not looking for other people to validate you and to sort of have this dynamic of, I'm somebody who's a leader and I need people to worship me on some level in order to make this work. So this sounds rather negative, and I really want to go back on that because that's not how I mean it. There are people who I personally admire very much because of what they've achieved. Also, like people who are in the celebrity world and so on, and they're working with that dynamic. And that doesn't make them bad or stupid or selfish or anything like this, because it's a win-win situation. That person wants to share their leadership. They want to share what they can bring out to the world. They want to share who they're about. They want to share their stories, and other people benefit from that energy. They consume that energy. So the alpha in that position exudes who they are. They love to be the light for others and for others to follow them and to be part of their own journey. For Sigmas, it's different. For Sigmas, it's I go my own path and I want to inspire you for you to go your own path. Because there's no way a Sigma would ever want for others to dim their light in order to be in the Sigma's atmosphere. That does not mean we don't want people around us. We want them there, but we want them to shine. We rather go in a position where we dim our own light. It's not healthy, but it's something the INFJ archetype is much more likely to do than to demand of others to dim their light. It's just not the way our mind works. I mean, think about it. The whole combination of NI and TI. What is that all about? It's about, first off, I don't live in the real world. I have a vision. I'm living somewhere here in the clouds. Here is where I feel at home. Here is where I define my life, how I define myself, everything around me. And there is a distance between what is happening in the real world as an SE, what is really happening in the here and now, and what is happening in my mind and in my visions. And then we have TI. And TI is about internal logic. It's about individual logic. So how can that combination ever lead to you wanting to be somebody that others are admiring and want to follow? So gather around me and then you become like me. I give off of my energy and I want you to be all close to me. That cannot work. We need the distance. We need to have enough room for ourselves in order to be able to be in our mind. And at the same time, we have our own logic. So all of this combined is actually the definition of the Sigma archetype. That, again, is if you define Sigma the way it's been used in society and has been used for I don't know how many years, decades, right? That does not mean that this is who you are, this is not who I am. It doesn't mean that if somebody else defines that's the Sigma INFJ, that there's something wrong about this, because this is not something like saying 1 + 1 = 2. It's all about what has been established as a common law that everybody agrees on. We have been talking about the INFJ type for a while now, right? This isn't something that has been on YouTube for, let's say, the last 2 years, but it's still something that is growing. It's still not something that is mainstream, but it becomes more and more this thing that more and more people accept. For the longest time, it was a soft science. It was something that people didn't believe in. They said, oh, this is like astrology. It's just some made up stuff. We have proven with time that there's so much more about it than just some kind of hunch, that it's not just a soft science. It's something that has helped so many of us. And if you look at it from that perspective, who cares how soft it is? Who cares if you define yourself as a not Sigma INFJ or a Sigma INFJ or an Alpha INFJ or whatever it is, as long as it helps you. That's what MBTI is all about. I mean, think about it. It's not about saying you're an INFJ, but you're not, and you don't belong to our club, or you belong to us, and we define ourselves as like these mysterious beings. No, this is a system that is helping us to find ourselves so we can then and move to the next step of our own evolution. That's it. As long as you find a definition that works for you, that makes you feel empowered, please use it. Don't feel like you have to play by anybody's games. If you consider yourself an INFJ, then you also are somebody with TI, individual logic. So you make your own rules. You choose that, what makes you feel empowered, what allows you to grow, and that's all that matters. With that being said, my definition of an INFJ is either Sigma all the way, if you look at it from a society standpoint, or Alpha all the way, if you look at it how it's been originally defined in the animal kingdom. Remember guys, if you want to take the next step in creating your INFJ Epic Life and you want my help with this, then work with me 101 or sign up for the INFJ Epic Life Bootcamp waiting list. And if you want to watch another video now that is in alignment with today's topic, then watch the video INFJ, the true Alpha or Sigma after all.